Bay of Pigs invasion. Well, the Bay of Pigs invasion was caused by the USA not liking communism, but Cuba was led by Fidel Castro, the infamous communist dictator. He had been a concern to the US since he seized power in Cuba with a revolution in January 1959. The reason why they were so up in arms about this is because it was a little closer to home than they would prefer. Cuba is about 480 kilometers away from Miami, Florida. This would mean it would be an easy strike if Cuba fell into the wrong hands. Castro's attack on the United States companies in Cuba and his anti-American views and the movement towards a closer relationship with the Soviet Union really scared the US. So they thought they would jump in and try and make Cuba a friendly ally. In March 1960, President Eisenhower approved the program to train 1,500 Cuban exiles that was taken over by the 35th US President John F. Kennedy in 1961. This was also the year the CIA launched the invasion of Cuba. The plan was to overthrow Fidel Castro and his revolution, but they failed miserably. The first mishap occurred on April 15, 1961, when 8 bombers left Nacazara to bomb the Cuban airfields. The CIA had used obsolete World War II B-26 bombers and painted them to look like Cuban Air Force planes. The bombers missed many of their targets and left most of Castro's air force intact. As news broke out of the attack, photos of the repainted US planes became public and revealed Americans' support for the invasion. As a response, President Kennedy cancelled the second airstrike. After this, the Cuban planes sank 2 escort ships and destroyed half the exiles' air support. And as the ground team landed, they instantly came under heavy fire. The ground team were also smashed by the bad weather, so they had to try and fight with wet gear and low ammo supplies. In the next 24 hours, Castro ordered 20,000 troops to the beach, and Castro's air force still controlled the skies. In an attempt to break this, John F. Kennedy authorized the air umbrella, where 6 unmarked American fighter planes went and tried to defend the B-26 aircrafts. But the B-26 group arrived an hour late and they were shot down by the Cubans. The invasion was crushed later that day, and 12,000 of the exile team surrendered. Over 100 were killed and some escaped on water. The prisoners were held for almost 2 years. While the US negotiated with Castro, they ended up paying $53 million worth of baby food and medicine. The failure of this battle cost the US a lot, not just money, because Castro used the attack to solidify his power in Cuba and request Soviet military aid, and that includes missiles and the construction of missile bases in Cuba, which in turn sparked the Cuban Missile Crisis. The United States was criticized for its use of armed forces to get rid of Castro. He was seen as a hero to many because of his stand against the US interference. Because Cuba was a pretty hard place to live before the revolution, and so everyone was happy with the way it was going without the US mucking it up.